It's Platt, and today we head out to the Aloha State. That's the next Platt's Beer of the Week. So the particular beer we have today comes from Maui Brewing Company. It is Sunshine Girl. A little background to Maui Brewing. Maui Brewing was founded back in 2005 by Garrett Marrero and Melanie Oxley. They created just a small little brew pub restaurant in the Lahaina area there in Maui, out in Hawaii. They started off with a 7-barrel brew system, and the original goal was just to brew beers that kind of reflected the culture and flavor of Hawaii. Not just, they weren't going to do just generic West Coast pale ales, kind of thing. They quickly gained traction because in 2007 they added a second brewing line, almost like a production line, just to keep up. Even with a 7-barrel system is small, but they still must have been moving some booze, some beer to do that production. The next year in 2008 was a big step for the company because it was it started something they'd become known for, and kind of a badge of honor for them. Maui Brewing is one of the most environmentally proactive companies out there. In 2008, they installed solar panels, which started them down the road to eventually, in 2019, becoming the first brewery in the United States to get completely off the grid. They are completely self-sufficient as far as energy goes. Maui Brewing, again, has been one of the leaders in the craft beer movement as far as environmentally, doing some really cool things. I know some of the packaging they use is 100% recycled cardboard. They have a CO2 recapture system. Again, just very proactive. And this all kind of started in 2008 with that original set of solar panels. In 2010, they took another step. They became the first Hawaii brewery to switch from bottles to cans, which kind of surprises me because, the debate on bottles and cans, that's kind of personal preference, but Hawaii cans, just kind of makes sense. Well, they hit 3 years. They built another production facility in Kaiai that ended up becoming now where the current headquarters is at. There's a restaurant and what have you. Oddly enough, though, at this point, they still weren't shipping off the islands. This was a second production facility just to keep up with sales there, which is kind of a unique thing. It wasn't until the year 2015 that they finally started exporting off the islands to the mainland. Now, today you can find their beers in all 50 states and 14 countries worldwide. They currently have 4 different brewery locations. There is 2 in Maui, 1 the HQ and restaurant in Kaiai, and then the original location in Lahaina. On the island of Oahu, there's 2 locations there. 1 in Kailua, and then 1 on Waikiki Beach at the Outrigger Beachcomber Hotel. If you ever make it out there, I know Waikiki Beach is considered kind of a tourist trap. That's a good tourist trap. That's one I can live with. Trust me, I've been out there. Do that. Hit that. That hotel itself's just real cool, and they got Maui Brewing there. You really can't beat that. Real quick, let's talk about some of the other brews. Maui Brewing has a small line, but some really cool, interesting kind of beers there. First is Coconut Hiwa, 6% ABV. This is a porter that uses toasted coconut that they source themselves and toast themselves. Kind of a cool story. They have the ovens inside where they do the toasting. Again, being in a place like Hawaii, you gotta have access to some unique stuff. And that is true on the next beer also. Pineapple Mana, 5.5% ABV. This is a wheat beer made with Maui Gold pineapples. It must be cool for those guys at Maui Brewing. Have a brewery in Hawaii where you can source, you can locally source, which is always a good thing and, good selling point. But you can locally source some really cool stuff that you're not sourcing in Montana or, what have you. Besides their line of beers, they also have a line of flavored sodas, non-alcoholic flavored sodas, and a line of canned cocktails. Well, before we try this particular brew, let's check out stats. So today, before we try this beer, I thought I'd bring up naturally, when you think of Hawaii, I think craft beer's a little further down the line. You know, there's surf and sand and volcanoes and all that other stuff. You know, craft beer is just a little lower down the line, but they do have a pretty cool little beer culture there. If you do think of beer in Hawaii, though, a lot of people naturally go to Kona, Maui Brewing's there, but they do have some other cool little breweries out there, and I thought I'd mention a few today just in case you head out there. First is Olu Brewing Company. They have 2 locations, one in Hilo on the Big Island, and then another one, a tap room there in Kona. Next we have Kauai Island Brewing, sorry about that. Their location is in Port Allen. Now they have a unique claim, and I had to think about it for a minute when I read this and everything. They claim to be the westernmost brewery on the planet. And I'm like, all right, what's in Alaska? Is there anything west of Anchorage? Well, it can't be anything in Aleutians. Well, is there breweries in Tonga? I went through that whole mental exercise, and they're probably right. Figuring where the international date line is. But I thought, what a kind of a cool little statement you can make, or whatever, claim that you're the westernmost brewery in the world. Lastly is Beer Lab Hawaii near the University of Hawaii in Honolulu. They do a cool thing, several cool things with the universities. One of them, they do a homebrew club based out there called the Lab Rats. Beer Lab, the University Lab Rats, whatever. I thought that was kind of a cool deal. And I think they have a couple other locations there in Honolulu in case you make it out. Well, that being said, let's drink this Hawaiian beer. All right, boy, we got plenty of foam. I know I got a lot of grist with pour, but plenty of carbonation. Plenty of bubbles I see. Nice little golden color. Let's go for the nose. All right, pretty malt forward, not much hops there. Let's give it a try. Not bad. Real pleasant little beer. Not much hops there. Just a nice malt sweetness. Just faint hints of like honey and stuff. Like it's a little more complex than just like a real, kind of like the malt sweetness on like a light pilsner or a really light beer. There's still a malt presence there, but it's very faint. Or this is a little more intense, a little more complex, nuanced. Some now we're getting some toasty notes, almost a light hint of like a toffee-like note. Real light, but again, it's a little more complex malt. That's a nice, easy drinker. Nothing outstanding though, but this is a type of beer, I believe, golden ale. A little more oomph in body than like a traditional blonde ale. And I've always said a blonde ale is a great kind of craft beer to introduce people. So this right here wouldn't be bad either to introduce them to craft beer. If you went out to Maui Harbor, again, want to give them out the Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light kind of rut, this would be a pretty nice beer to go with. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. So please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or beers that you'd like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Until next time, bottoms up.